Hey everyone, Jason Nunn, Fisherman's Warehouse Marine, Sweet Street at Warners Bay, your Newcastle Honda marine dealer. And of course those Honda dollars, guys, are still going. 30 to 80 horsepowers, some really good savings there if you want to repower. That's going right through to the end of February, and of course free rigging for 115s and above. So some really good opportunities there for Honda over the next 6 weeks. And Friday today, because I wasn't really sure what was going to happen. Yesterday it was stormy and it hadn't settled down, and there'd been a few forecast changes. Very, very hard to predict. Look, at the moment we're down at Alibana here and it's blowing southwest. The wind today is just totally variable. Eventually it'll go around to the southeast, and they say we could get some more afternoon thunderstorms into it. Saturday, Sunday doesn't look great at all. It's south-southeast. We're going to see an increase in swell. And really what they're saying is 80 to 90% chance of rain Saturday, Sunday, and then we're going to have continual showers right the way through at this stage till at least next Wednesday, possibly even Thursday. Look, we do need some rain, there's no denying that. The south coast looks like they're going to get flogged over the weekend with a lot of rain and a little east coast low. It's just going to depend on how that spins off. It's not probably going to be advantageous, I wouldn't have thought, or maybe even safe, better word, to get wide. I just don't think these conditions are real favourable at all. And of course in a fortnight's time we've got the Lake Macquarie Game Fishing Club Big Fish Bonanza on the 31st of January, which is a Saturday, and the 1st of February, which is the Sunday. So a 2-day event out of Lake Macquarie, and things looking very, very good there. So if you're wanting to enter, of course, you need to be a member of a game fishing club. And look, mate, there's some really good prizes up for grabs, and hopefully we get some good conditions. Favourable weather conditions will be ideal, but I'll keep you updated over the next couple of weeks on that there. Through the week out wide, we'll start out there. The water temperature really did vary, and middle of the week there, when the guys were the opportunity to get out, that temperature had dropped right away. At some points there, some of the guys are talking about 23.5, maybe not even 24-degree water, and not clean at all. The better water was out to about 70 fathoms, so that inshore farm area in particular, so 70 fathoms back into say 30 fathoms, perfect, still really good colour, and still quite a few fish around in there. Striped marlin definitely, and a few dolphin fish. Some of the dolphin fish, look, they're starting to get a bit bigger. They're not huge by any means. I know there was reports of a couple up around that 70 centimetre mark, so they're starting to get bigger. But I reckon within the next few weeks, once we get that next push of water coming down from Southwest Rocks, Port Macquarie, we'll see a lot better quality of those dolphin fish at the present moment. There's a lot of black marlin up towards Southwest Rocks coming down into Port Macquarie. They're all going to start to move down. So the whole fishery out wide will change quite significantly once that water temperature gets to the peak, which is around about 27.5 degrees. So I'll keep you updated again, but it's going to all sort of change. And as I say, it's going to be difficult out there on the inshore. If you can get out, and again, just take real caution if you do. A lot of trag still on the inshore, still a few small bonito around in reds, but nothing's really changed. And I just think the conditions are going to be more favourable for the estuary. There's been a few mulloway on the beaches, and definitely some really nice whiting getting caught. Worms being the best bait by far, and the guys of the mulloway, look, fresh squid really is the key. You've got a new moon coming through on Tuesday, and of course our tides tomorrow being Saturday, 8:15 in the morning, 179. So on that new moon on Tuesday, that's the best tide of the cycle, basically at 1.9, which is a bit after 10 o'clock on Tuesday. So some nice build-up tides, and the low tide tomorrow afternoon, just after 3 p.m, 0.4. So there's a nice tidal exchange, but I think the estuary is where it's at. There's a lot of very good whiting still in the system. Worms, definitely the way to go. Certainly tubes, that's for sure. Prawn run's been this week. I know a few guys rang me. They were going out. I didn't get any reports back, so I don't know whether the storms hindered them getting out. But look, it is worth a go to get out there and have a bit of a look. I think, well, certainly Tuggerah Lakes is fishing well for prawns. Definitely the Mile has been doing all right. The wrong cycle up there at the moment, but it's worth your while, and it's probably enough advantage there to get out there and maybe get a few live prawns. The evening is where the better brim are. Got a report from Hilly on the weekend. He got some really nice brim in the estuary here, up to 45, but nothing significant until after dark. Now the other surprising thing is, and just over the last few weeks, guys, in the estuary itself, we've had a few reports of tailor. Is it uncommon? A few guys have said maybe. Look, over the last 10 or 15 years, I've certainly noticed it, that we do get a patch of fish in right on top of Christmas, and they are a better fish. They're a fish normally in and around that 50 centimetre mark. When they first come in a couple of weeks ago, there were reports getting caught some nice fish in Belmont Bay, but it seems they've moved south, so that group of fish has moved south down towards Pawba. But they're a better quality fish. They're not those little 35, 40s. They're 50s and above. No stonkers, no big over 55 stuff, but it's a real nice range of fish. But it's great to see, we're starting to see a little bit of difference in the quality of fish. There's also been some really nice trevally caught in the lake, and there's also a few reds, but not big reds, 35s to 40s. But it's great to see a little bit of diversity. Some really nice mulloway, but squid aren't real prolific at the present moment. I don't know really why it is. Maybe that's a result of not a lot of prawns around, but you've got to work that little bit harder for squid. So definitely seaward side of the bridge, of course, if you're going to go chase a king, because there's a few of those guys around, and or try to get a live yellowtail. But some better sort of advantage, I suppose, on that run out tide or the last of the run in seaward side of the bridge, or possibly down the Sticks and Murrays, maybe up the drop over. But you're going to have to work extra hard. Maybe by February, and I think February into March is probably the pick for squid in the lake. I think that might hopefully improve itself out. Still a lot of flathead around, and there's still a lot of big flathead in the system. They'll start to quieten down a little bit, guys, and I think, like I said, if you start to catch a few smaller fish around that sort of 38 to 45s, you know that there'll be big females in the proximity. They are going to be definitely spawning over the next 4 weeks, so they will slow down, and our next opportunity to tuck into those guys will be when it starts to move into March. Look, the weekend's not too bad. I think it's all going to be all around the estuary. A little bit of rain to come, a few thunderstorms. It doesn't look too bad up here at the moment. There's still a few crabs around if you're interested. All in all, have a good time. Remember, we're halfway into January already. School's going back in a fortnight. I'll see you next week.